Welcome in to the Clay Edwards Show. We are live here on 103.9 FM WYAB. We're streaming worldwide at WYAB.com as well as the TuneIn app and Alexa. And we were streaming online, but the camera did its own thing, and now we're not. So we're going to end the live stream on the internet, and we'll pick it back up in the second segment. This is the free-range human show of choice, your daily dose of reality radio. This is the Clay Edwards Show. I'm joined here in the studio this morning by LINDSEY BECKHAM. Good morning, LINDSEY.
Good morning.
How you doing?
I'm good.
Trying
to get settled over here.
The headphone shuffle?
Yeah. I guess it's okay, huh?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Okay. I mean, it's only so we can hear ourselves, and maybe if a caller calls. We'll get that situated in the break, too. I don't know what. I ain't quite sure what people do in here the rest of the day, but the headphones never seem to be the same way they were at the end of the day. I know it's something Kim deals with, too. By the time everybody uses the headphones differently around here. So, big weekend. Got to get to Starkville for the first time in 5 years. Go enjoy a game. It's so that they lost, but you know what? I truly got to find out in person how little I care about the end result in a football game nowadays, because there's a time and a place that would have absolutely ruined my entire week. I would have probably called in sick today, still angry, belly aching over something I have no control over. So I am definitely glad that I'm past that point in my life that I let a bunch of 18 and 19-year-old men determine my happiness. Now that politicians do it. But at least I get a vote. At least I can cost them their job, or try to. Politicians and
defense attorneys.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna let you rant on that. I haven't spent enough time in a courtroom to tell you what is or is not a good defense, or it is a good defense, or whatever. But I lean into what professionals I know have said, and they said it was a historically bad performance in the defense of Carly Gregg over the week. So it looked bad just from the outside looking in. She basically didn't do her show prep.
Exactly.
At the end of the day.
Yeah, that and some other things.
Yeah. So we'll get into all that. Oh, I'm getting my notes pulled up here. Yeah, so just so y'all understand, sometimes if it sounds like we aren't totally all together when we start the show, now that we have a morning show ahead of us, which God bless it, I love having a local lead in, it doesn't give us but about 6 minutes to change over and get all of our stuff ready. So it's you got to be ready to take the baton and run here on the radio show. Let's see here. Block. All right, got my show notes pulled up.
So you had fun in Starkville?
Yeah, I did. We like I said, got to get a shout out to Fred Shanks. He got us in a suite. Stephen Clay with the Clay firm, maybe he's a lobbyist, has a suite up there. I think that's what he does. Anyway, don't hold me to that. But yeah, got to get a suite, then got to stumble into the president's suite. And I'm not saying this to brag. I'm actually going to make this a inspirational thing. Give me 1 second. Got to go in the president's suite, and I'm just looking around there like there's all these people I've seen on TV my whole life. The commissioner of the SEC, Greg Sankey, probably the second most powerful man in all of American sports, behind the commissioner of the NFL. In my opinion, I think the SEC is the second largest sports entity behind the NFL in America.
Yeah.
At least in the southeastern United States, it's the most important. So got to meet him, get a photo, and it just had one of those aha moments. One of those, I said this on Facebook in my caption, said, "We're not in South Jackson anymore, Toto."
Yeah.
I mean, I just think
cool.
back. I just think back to some of my just rock bottom moments and the situations I put myself in and the people I surrounded myself in, and trap houses and doing drugs and just being in really bad situations, even in the belly of my nightclub. In a little office I had concocted with no windows on any side of it that I could stay in there for days at a time and get high and not have to realize that it was daytime or nighttime. Mm-hmm. And I could just lose track of time. To go from that and to find it, not that ending up in a suite is somehow the definition of success, but it just but what I thought it was to prove that you can change your environment.
Right.
Because, typically you have to be a successful level-headed individual to be able to afford that kind of stuff and to get in the room with that kind of people. If that makes sense. To
have a seat at the table.
Yeah, to have a seat at the table. They're not going to let a crackhead, a meth head, a pill head, knowingly
Yeah.
at the table. Don't get me wrong, successful people find their habits, their vices as well. So it was just a kind of a cool moment to a little reminder that all the hard work does pay off, you know. And that's one of the underlining themes of this show, other than just politics and culture war, is that you can make a decision that you're not happy with your current situation, and change said situation.
I say all the time that no one's born a loser. We're all choosers. And so regardless of what you're born into, you make choices that determine your outcome. And I have those those moments too, to think that a few years ago I had no clue about politics or, parental rights or what was going on in our education system. And, today it's like there are people who call and want my opinion on something. And like you said, I'm not saying that to brag or to pat myself on the back, but it's amazing what you can accomplish when you work hard and you believe in something, you're passionate about it.
100%. So it was just a cool moment to breathe it in, and I left really motivated and stuff, and just got to see some folks, and it was just a good time. Oh yeah, we also, Fred, thanks for reminding me.
Tonight
we met another member of Parliament, former member of Parliament. I thought, how strange.
That is because Douglas was just here.
Exactly. How strange to get to meet another member of Parliament sitting in a random skybox in Starkville, Mississippi. And so it gave me another opportunity to bring up. I said, let's try 6 degrees of separation here.
Yeah.
Let's find out if this guy from another part of the world knows Douglas Carswell. Mm-hmm. As a matter of fact, they were in the same party together.
That is so cool.
Not Liberty Party, whatever it was called over there, the Independent Party, whatever the third party was, they lost, so they all kind of lost their gigs in Parliament and kind of dispersed. But this guy does some other stuff. He's still a politician over there.
He still lives over there.
Yeah, maybe like Secretary of State or some version of
Similar.
that. And
did you tell Douglas about that?
I haven't talked to Douglas yet. Douglas was at the Ole Miss game.
I saw that. He was at the Ole Miss game.
He's an enemy until, at least until Monday.
Hotty toddy.
So, well, Douglas had an interesting weekend. I saw a photo surface of that the Jay Allen character on Twitter was using to push this Corey deal, this gay adult. I don't want to use the P word, but the adult gay
that
entertainer.
industry.
Yeah. We'll just say that because it's 7:00 hour. So we'll talk about that in the second hour. I'll wait till y'all's kids get out of the car. But a very interesting
I'm not sure I want to talk about
culture war story popped off over the weekend.
Yeah.
That is, it's going to put a lot of people in an awkward position, pun intended.
Very much so. It's
and we are streaming on the internet. We are streaming on the on all the video platforms now: Facebook, YouTube, X, Rumble, and Facebook, YouTube, X, and Rumble. So we are streaming on all those now at Save JXN. Got the camera fixed.
Yeah. So tonight, I wanted to mention this, that Jennifer Branning is going to be at Martin's downtown from, I think, 5 to 6. But I know you went to a fundraiser for her last week, and we are big fans of her at my house, and hoping that she's able to pull out a win and have that seat on the Supreme Court. So if anyone would like to meet her or get to know her or see her, she will be at Martin's.
That'd be cool. So that starts at 5, right?
I believe it's 5 to 6. I'll double check that. But
well, it's never as we've learned, it's never a bad time to go to Martin's.
Never.
So, well, that'd be cool. Yeah. So that at Martin's tonight. Sorry, I'm multitasking here. All right, I think I got everything set up there. Let's get the chats pulled up. Well, we're gonna take a break, and when we come back, I want to get into unpacking the Carly Gregg stuff. I did a live stream with Kingfish Friday afternoon after the verdict came down, right after lunch. And it's, as of right now, it's the biggest live stream I've ever done.
I was going to say, you had a ton of people on that live stream, and this case has just kind of taken not only our area, but the world by storm. People have been very tuned in to what was going on in that trial.
It has. I went out Saturday night when I got back from Starkville, went down to Cypress Point out there to the new Cameron's Garage Sports Bar, which is it's becoming my home away from home way too quick. But just had a great time. But it was the dinner table conversation. Everybody that saw me, because they knew I talked about it and stuff, wanted to talk about it and wanted my opinion. And I was like, man, I've had a couple days to marinate on it and kind of how do I feel about not the verdict. The verdict is right. I mean, she's guilty. She did it.
I agree.
How do I feel about the sentence? And I've had a couple days to marinate on that. So we'll talk about that. We'll get Lindsey's thoughts. Lindsey wants to unpack the defense's issues.
Well, there's some stuff that has come to light since the end of the trial that I would love to fill the public in on.
I'm familiar with it. It's quite interesting. Just at what point, is there? I want to be careful about not throwing rocks at people, but at what point is there a judicial review on some of this stuff? I mean, there's some of this stuff is weird.
Very.
I mean, to quote Tim Walz, just weird. Just weird. And I got some stuff on Tim Walz too. He cut the greatest Donald Trump ad.
He surely did.
Ever. I mean, man, he went full MAGA. He went full
I love it.
MAGA over the weekend and gave us probably the greatest soundbite that better be in every commercial moving forward immediately.
It absolutely should be.
If you missed that, we're going to get you that and more. This is the Clay Edwards Show with Lindsey Beckham. Wherever you're watching, hit that share button, hit that like button. If you're listening online at WYAB.com, share the link with a friend. Turn it on 103.9 FM. Let's start this week off with a bang here on the Clay Edwards Show with Lindsey Beckham.
Or a boom, as Renee would say.
A boom, shakalaka boom. All right, we got all the technical bugs worked out. The Mazda Jackson phone line, 601-879-0002. We'll take some calls in the latter half of the next segment if you guys want to call in once we kind of lay out the game plan. The Guns and Gear text line, 769-241-1944. 769-241-1944. We will be right back. If you're online, we're going to stay online. We're going to stay live. And if you got any questions for Lindsey or myself, we will chop it up with you there in the chat session. I think they call it on Reddit an Ask Me Anything. So we will do that online if you guys want to chime in there. We'll be right back. All right, so we are still live in the online, just FYI. So you're doing.
That's what it is. This is not.
Looks like the splitter. The splitter's probably over here somewhere.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not plugged in at all.
Yeah.
So there you go. There.
That might fix it.
Check.
Yeah.
Okay, good deal.
Got it.
Good deal. All right, so we don't have anybody in the chat right now, so what I'm going to do is we got like 38 people listening. We will I'm not going to sit here and entertain nobody if they're not in the chat, so let's see here. We'll throw up an ad for you guys. How about Men's Health of Mississippi? That's right. Men's Health of Mississippi. Guys, are you suffering from fatigue, decreased muscle tone, lack of energy, low libido, brain fog, or sleep disturbances? You could be suffering from symptoms of low testosterone. I gave myself my testosterone shot this morning. Ladies, be on the lookout. Be careful. Be careful.
And Sean's got an appointment today this morning.
He's loaded up, ready to go. Text my name, Clay, to 601-327-8550. They're going to get you a free testosterone screening today at Men's Health in Mississippi, located at 120 Fountains Boulevard in Madison, Mississippi. And hey, guys, don't try to be the smartest guy in the room and try and not remember the name and text the wrong place or call the wrong place. There's about 4 or 5 places with very similar names to Men's Health in Mississippi. And it seems like every time you guys try to do it on your own, you get the wrong place. And your boy lives on these referrals. I mean, just don't be honest there. We don't do this for free. I mean, I love the folks, but I want to make sure they advertise with me because they want it to work. And if y'all are going to the wrong place, it's working for the wrong people. I do appreciate you listening, but never hesitate to reach out and ask me the number. I will send you the flyer if I need to. So just throwing that out there. Let's pull the chats back up here. Ryan Phillips, good morning, brother. Listening while working. Like it. Will, good morning over on YouTube. Everybody watching on YouTube right now, well, at least everybody chatting is on YouTube. So YouTube, that was the main reason I started doing these live streams is, Facebook is what it is. It does decent numbers, but I really want to grow YouTube.
Yeah.
Like that's the goal.
It's harder to do.
It's hard. It requires effort. I mean, you really got to put it in. You got to work the thumbnails. You got to chat. You got to do a lot of stuff. But if you put it in, you will work. You're not going to just start a live stream.
Can you go live on YouTube?
Yeah.
Do you have to have a certain amount of followers?
I don't know.
I don't know either. They change all that all the time, I feel like.
I wouldn't think so. No, I mean, I thought I asked Daniel. I thought your stuff's on YouTube.
That's right. We do go live on
YouTube.
That's right. We do.
Yeah. So let's see here. All right, just listening to the commercials there. Christy Lee Odom, good morning to you. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
All right, everybody piling on in here now. Ty, good morning. I can't say this one name, but Mr. On My Stuff, we'll just say that. People get creative with their screen names.
Oh, I see him.
They get creative with their screen names. So you like the background, the backdrop, and all that. That's the old Save Jackson logo.
I do. I do like that.
It looks better than the other ones for a backdrop, even though we're not really Save Jackson anymore. I still like the logo.
Well, I mean, I guess you'll always be Save Jackson in some form.
For better or worse. You like my Space Force shirt?
I do like your Space Force shirt. I'm so used to seeing you in the FAFO.
I know. I tried to mix it up a little bit. Joe Rogan was interviewing somebody the other day and had it on, and I've had this shirt for like 4 years. Ever since he created Space Force, I probably had this shirt in my closet for 5 years, and I don't think I've ever worn it. These raglan style with the little short sleeves. Hey, it's usually just too hot.
Yeah, you're like me. You have to be
cool.
I get so frustrated when it's hot.
All right, I think
Are we back?
We're getting ready to come back live on the radio here. Michelle, good morning on Facebook. We got a commercial wrapping up here, and we're going to come back live on the radio. Your headphones working?
Yeah.
Good. We have overcome all of our technical difficulties.
I know.
This morning. We're about to have a good old time. Any questions y'all got or comments you got about the Carly Gregg trial, drop them here in the live chat, and we will get you read up on the air. Love seeing some of these names in here this morning. All right, welcome back in to the Clay Edwards Show here live on WYAB. This segment is going to be brought to you by our friends over at Mazda of Jackson. Man, look, Mazda Jackson phone line, just a reminder, 601-879-0002. Did you know there's never been a better time to buy a Mazda? And the best deals around are at Mazda of Jackson. Mazda is one of the top 5 most dependable brands around, and Mazda of Jackson has hundreds of new and used cars available right now. Check out 1.9% APR for 72 months on the Mazda CX-50s and CX-90s and get 3.9% financing for 72 months plus. Usually you don't get to combine cash rebates and APR, but you get 3.9% financing for 72 months plus a $750 rebate on the all-new Mazda CX-30s. And new Mazdas include a lifetime powertrain warranty. It's time to choose Mazda. Mazda of Jackson, I-55, Frontage Road, of course, in Jackson, or online at MazdaofJackson.com. Go by there, see my buddy Grista Grady Portera, or whoever you catch out there on the lot. All good folks, and locally owned, locally operated. And what's really cool is when you buy a vehicle from Mazda Jackson, you get that lifetime powertrain warranty, and you get the owner's cell phone number, man. They sit there, they work the sales desk. They engage with their customers. They don't hide behind a wall of different managers like at some dealerships. They are very approachable. If you have a problem, you can go straight to the decision maker. And I mean, I think as a consumer, that kind of stuff matters. It does to me.
Yeah, it absolutely does.
All right. We are up and streaming live on all the video platforms, YouTube, X, Rumble, and YouTube, and Facebook. So I appreciate everybody there. We're at Save JXN. If you want to engage with us on any of those platforms, you can hit up in the live chat, and we will get you read up on the air. If you want to call, text on the Guns and Gear text line, that's 769-241-1944. All right, Lindsey Beckham, it's time. Justin,
let's do
it. I see my Kimberly and Justin have jumped in the live chat. Good morning to you guys as well. Let's talk about Carly Gregg. I want to say something. I did my whole live stream the other day, and I forgot to mention the prosecution.
They did a phenomenal job. I think they're going to come on the podcast.
That's great. Was it Catherine Newman?
Yes, Catherine Newman and Michael Smith.
I couldn't find his name in the news in the articles. It mentioned Catherine. So I just want to give a shout out to the prosecution, the entire and their staff over at the Madison Rankin DA's office, Bubba Bramlett, the whole team over there. I think Judge Dewey Arthur did a great job for what I think is the right sentencing. And sometimes when you you got to make big boy decisions. And
Yeah.
Sean talked about this the other day as a former prosecutor. There's some cases you don't want to prosecute because it's just sad. It's just the whole situation is bad. But you got to put on your big boy pants and you got to do what the law says do as a prosecutor, as a judge. And I thought both really, really did a great job.
Yeah.
And I've had a few days to think about this, and I actually have less sympathy for Carly than I probably had going into it. I think that she has showed that video.
It's
going back
just
and
so
watching
telling.
it.
It's so telling. She can't possibly say she didn't know what she was doing or that she didn't remember what had happened. It is very, very clear that she knew exactly what she was doing.
She's a cold, calculated killer. Cold, calloused, and calculated. Mm-hmm. She knew what she was going to do.
Absolutely.
She had made her mind up, and that was not as spontaneous as it had initially been described. They were not having a knockdown drag out in the kitchen. Of course, I'm not saying anybody ever said they were, but just in your mind, you assume that's what was happening.
I can imagine they had some sort of altercation in the vehicle, and this is speculation, obviously, on the way home. And, Carly knew that someone had told her mom about some things that she was doing, some things that were going on that her friends were concerned about. And she knew exactly what her mom was about to do. And she was going to go and search her room and, find the things that Carly knew she was going to find. And she got angry and shot her mom in the face. And it blows my mind that someone can go to that stage.
So she fired the gun, 3 or 4 times. She shot her 3 times. Is that right?
Yes. 2
in the head, 1 in the face, 2 in the face, 1 in the head, and neck.
Something like that, yeah.
It's a moot point. Some people were in my live stream the other day with Kingfish, and we played the video and discussed it with the chatters. Some people were convinced they could hear her screaming in the background. I don't think so.
You can hear, there's the first shot, and then you hear the mom scream, and then you hear 2 more shots go off, and you hear nothing after that. Now, you can hear Carly screaming on the video when the stepdad walks into the house. And you just hear someone screaming out, like just crazy, crazy screams, and they ask him on the stand, who was screaming, and he said it was Carly.
Yeah, I've got a bunch of clips that were sent to me. They took the time out to clip some stuff out, send it to me last night. I haven't emailed it over to myself yet, but we got all show. But Court TV did an interview, or Crime and Order TV, one of these Law and Order TV shows, YouTube channels did an interview with the defense after the trial. Mm-hmm. And now one thing that has jumped out at me is this: she has been sitting in solitary confinement for now 186 days.
I mean, that's enough to make anybody crazy.
I mean, now look, I don't have sympathy for her getting the sentence that she got, but I got sympathy for an individual being stuck in solitary confinement for 186 days.
That's torture.
Also, I was a little bit critical of her lack of facial expression during the verdict. Mm-hmm. Her just looking very disheveled. According to the attorneys in the clips I have, they've had her loaded up on antidepressants, and I'm sure she needs
mood
them.
Stabilizers,
basically Lexapro and that type stuff, SSRIs, and
along with Abilify, I think, which is the mood stabilizer that they say you've got to be on in order for the antidepressants to actually do their job. And I don't know what it is that she actually, the mental type of illness that she actually does have. Obviously, she's crazy, but like we were saying earlier, she knew what she was doing. So I don't think it was a sort of mental illness where she had some sort of mental break and can't remember what happened. I think that was just a part of the defense.
I agree. You'll see here. Julie asked, does anybody know why they had cameras in their house? That's strange to me. Julie, I brought that same thing up. Julie's watching on Facebook.
I do. I have cameras in my house. I mean, I have young kids, and if I'm not there, I want to be able to see what's going on.
Makes all the sense. Also, a single woman, you know what I mean by single.
Yeah.
A man not living in the house. I don't have a problem with that. And some people want cameras in the house. I feel like I'm exposing myself here a little bit, but I prefer my stuff on the outside. I don't want to accidentally record something I don't want to record in that house.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? As a single guy, You know, I'm just saying, you know.
This is a family-friendly show.
I want to be careful. I want to be careful about what gets recorded in the house. But I mean, I've thought about getting one mainly just to watch the dogs because I find them wildly entertaining. Honestly, I've thought about just putting a camera on the dogs and just letting it run on YouTube 24/7. You know,
see how many viewers you get.
Yeah, it's like, let's make some money on this thing, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, look, Julie, I thought the same thing. I felt that was a little weird, but I don't know. I guess other people's situation is different.
Yeah. And I mean, it may very well be because they knew she was having some issues and they wanted to make sure if she was home by herself that she wasn't, you know, doing anything to harm herself or anyone else for that matter. You know, I don't feel sorry for her. I do believe the verdict was correct. I do think that she should have had a defense attorney that properly defended her, and by that I mean, you know, prepared for the case, read the discovery, wasn't searching herself on Facebook at 1 a.m. before going in to give closing arguments and arguing with people on Facebook. Yeah, that to me just shouts that she was, this defense attorney, Bridget Todd, was all in this.
Who is this again?
She was the defense attorney for Carly.
What's her name?
Bridget Todd.
All right, I just want to make sure we got that out there for the public.
Yes. And so there are some strange things that have happened, that I have learned, allegedly took place, such as, I know that they did this pro bono. You know, a lot of people were saying that Carly's family was paying for the defense. Evidently, they worked on this case pro bono. Allegedly, Bridget Todd showed up at the jail shortly after this happened, after Carly was arrested, and told the jail that she was the attorney for Carly, although the family had never met with her, didn't know who she was. And that's how she began talking with Carly. Also, shortly, I don't know if this was when the trial was going on or shortly before the trial, but the jailers allegedly found in Carly's cell a drawing or a cartoon, something that Bridget Todd, this attorney, had given to Carly that was a goose or a duck, something along those lines, with a knife through the beak, and said something like, "We're going to get them," and it was signed Bridget Todd. And I'm just sitting here thinking, what on earth is wrong with these people? I mean, maybe we need to put both of them in Whitfield.
I've also heard that she allegedly has a history of showing up, constantly trying to adopt these kids, and she gets keep being told no at these kind of situations. I don't know.
It's all very strange. I can't, since my Facebook post, Clay, I cannot tell you the people who have reached out to me privately to tell me the horrible things that woman has done to them and their families. It's insane that there are that many people that have issues with this woman.
Yeah, so we're getting close to the break. I don't want to jump into all the nuts and bolts of that Facebook drama, but I do want to jump into the nuts and bolts of it because I think it paints a picture of the mindset of the defense going into closing arguments.
Right.
Because it's frankly just strange that you're up at 1 a.m. the day before such an important decision.
And, I can see maybe not being able to sleep, but to be
you're searching your news clippings,
yeah,
and social media stuff. I don't know. I don't do that. I don't Google myself. I mean, I've had to do it a time or two just for some research stuff, but to kind of see how my SEO stuff is working. Mm-hmm. But I don't make it a habit to Google. I don't read my comments under Instagram and TikTok and usually Facebook either.
But to be able to find a post that you're not even tagged in, you're obviously searching.
Sure. It's strange. Let's see here let's circle back to a couple of the commenters here on the live stream. Several other people confirmed they have cameras in the house. Like I said, I think that is just a personal decision there. Yeah. Kind of, what's your situation? What do you want recorded? I got camera. Obviously, I use my home as a studio as well, so I've got a camera going a good bit of time anyway. I just like when it's off, I'm just kind of like, I don't know if I want that.
Yeah.
But I could definitely see needing one. Hey, look, if I lived in Jackson or somewhere I felt like was more crime prone, I would absolutely have cameras in the house because if I gotta eradicate this earth of a bad guy, of a little Chokwe Lumumba supporter, I want to be able to prove that it was self-defense, other than the fact that them being in my house uninvited.
Community improvement
killings. I want to be able to prove that that's exactly what it was. Let's see here. Ryan says he's got cameras everywhere in his apartment. Mary asked, Did anybody see how she giggled with her stepdad when he told her he loved her? With that, I guess that would have been in the trial.
It was, yes. The looks were very strange. I know a lot of people seem to think that there might have been something more going on there. I don't believe that's the case. I think everyone grieves differently, and maybe that's just what's happening. He's grieving. He doesn't know. It's also shocking. He probably doesn't know how to feel, where to turn.
I want to defend the stepdad here for a minute. This may come back to bite me in the butt. Frankly, when you're standing there and a camera's on you, and you know the cameras are looking at you, it's awkward. You know, like I made a joke this week, but apparently I don't know what to do with my hands when I take pictures nowadays. if I don't have my arms kind of wrapped around somebody, you know, my hands are just sitting there like basically just doing jazz hands, and it can be awkward. The camera can catch you looking really weird or even creepy at times. Also, you got to take into account what this guy's been through. And I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt and say that any of these online, these rumors and innuendo are not true for now. Because I think it would have come out by now.
Yeah, I don't believe there's
it would have been used in the defense if it was true.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to say that it's not true. And I think that the DA's office out there in Madison, Rankin County, Bubba Bramlett's office,
they would have uncovered that.
They would have already uncovered that. They would have wanted to know if that was true, because they're not going to play with that.
Yeah.
I mean, they take that kind of stuff very seriously. So I'm just going to say that is rumor, and we need to probably squash that. But with that said, this guy just lost his wife.
Yeah.
The stepdaughter, who he considered like a daughter of his own, from all reports, they had a very good relationship.
Yeah.
Tried to kill him.
Right.
He got shot. Now the wife is dead. The stepdaughter's going to prison, and he's here by himself for the rest of his life, or until he finds somebody else. Let's just be honest. After going through that, I don't know if it's going to be hard to hit the reset button. Well, and then you got people out there spreading rumors about you that you somehow could have been having some kind of inappropriate relationship with a 14-year-old.
Well, there was the body cam that showed her asking, "Is my stepdad okay?" And a lot of people thought that may have meant something, but I think she just didn't know if she killed him or not, and she wanted to know if he was dead.
Well, she knows she tried to.
Right. So that also tells us that she knew what she was doing. She knew what she did.
Yeah, well, she knows she tried to. All right, let's take a break. When we come back, I want to discuss the sentencing, and I want to get into Lindsey telling us about the Facebook fight that she had with the defense attorney at 1 a.m. in the morning the night before the verdict. This is the Clay Edwards Show with Lindsey Beckham. If you're watching online, stay on. We're going to do during the breaks, it's Reddit style, Ask Us Anything, and we will talk to you guys live during the break instead of nothing. So we'll be right back on the Clay Edwards Show. When we come back, too, man, I'm going to tell you what's for lunch today at some of our great Blue Plate sponsors. All right, guys, y'all feel free to ask us anything here in the comments. We got 4 minutes till we come back from the break. And when we come back from the break, I'll need to read some Guns and Gear text, too. Let's see here. Crystal Gaddy on YouTube says, the grandparents sneaking and talking to her when the judge's view is blocked by sidebar was super creepy. See, I did not have time to sit down and watch this whole trial.
Yeah, I was glued to it.
I know a lot of people were, and I have definitely been leaning on you all for that. Let's see here. Mr. On My Stuff. I guess I can say it once. Suck on my stuff. Teenagers will make you a camera pro. I understand.
I agree. I completely agree with that.
Susan says Bridget Todd was hoping to make a name for herself. Yeah, I was going to mention that.
Absolutely.
I don't think it's that abnormal for an attorney that wants to make a name for themselves to show up to the courthouse after a high profile crime. I think, if you've got the means to do this and you can go work for free and you want to make a name for yourself, I will say this. It did work. She made a name for herself. I just don't think it's the name she wanted to make for herself.
I don't know that it's a good name.
Yeah, I mean, be ready for it to backfire. If you're going to go out there and you're going to put yourself out there doing these big trials, because she's now, her and Kevin Camp, was she a part? Was she on the Beth Ann White trial? I know Kevin was.
I don't know. I don't know.
Kevin's now lost 2 big high-profile cases back to back, which I'll give him the benefit of the doubt on both of them. They were both slam dunks, in my opinion, for the prosecutions. The Beth Ann White was the white lady, drunk driver out in Raymond that killed the black family, the woman and one of her kids.
Yeah,
and she was injured another. And she had multiple DUIs. again, I think that was even though the first trial was a mistrial, Hinds County jury, you never underestimate the ability for them to screw something up. And then you got this trial, which I think was beyond obvious, especially with the video evidence. She was guilty. It was really just a matter of was she going to the crazy house or the jailhouse.
Right.
And they should have taken the plea.
They should have taken the plea. And I think that that's one thing that a lot of people are critical of the defense for as well. Like, why did they not encourage her to take the plea?
Yeah, let's save that when we come back on the radio, because I think that's going to be a big part of the conversation about the verdict.
And there's also some things went wrong. They didn't do their job or didn't do what they supposedly have to do at the sentencing. They evidently they have to put on a witness, and they didn't do that, so they're very, very well could be overturned. I don't know. I'm not an attorney, obviously, but just going on what I've been told by people who do know.
Yeah. All right, let's see here. Kristen Smith says the whole situation is just sad and the whole family needs therapy. Good morning, Miss Sharon Womack, our older woman at large out there in Brandon, Mississippi. Let's see if I missed any comments here that we want to hit. Haley says, I'm sure in her mind she thinks she will win the appeal. Haley, we're going to get to that too. I'm glad you brought that up. Keith Townsend, good morning. Michelle, I'm glad you love your Mazda. 10 years, 0 issues. Good stuff. All right, we're about 30 seconds back. 30 seconds we're coming back from our break. Again, if y'all are watching on the live stream, man, please hit the share button wherever you're watching this at, whether it's Facebook, YouTube. Hit the like button, hit subscribe. It really, really helps us. I can't express that enough. Let's see here. Hallie says any attorney should be able to openable read a celebrate report. Here we go. Welcome back in to the Clay Edwards Show here live on 103.9 FM WYAB, as well as the World Wide Web in video format on YouTube, Facebook, and X. Just search @SaveJXN. Also, we're streaming live on Rumble for all you free speech platform supporters. Well, that's X as well, but Rumble, just search Clay Edwards Show. A lot of people have left YouTube to go over to Rumble because of censorship, and that is a great platform, great app. I use it all the time, so get over there. All right, this segment brought to you by our friends over at Burgers Blues Barbecue. They got 3 great locations serving you amazing plate lunches today. The fixed meal is red beans and rice and hamburger steak. That's available every day at Burgers Blues Barbecue. Let's see here. And one day I will be prepared enough to have my information pulled up before I start talking about it. Today, the other alternating meat is fried chicken. So you got fried chicken, red beans and rice, or hamburger steak at Burgers Blues Barbecue. Of course, you can always hit one of their award-winning hamburgers or one of their other great. They have some healthy options too. The smoked chicken wings available in multiple flavors. I prefer the Nashville Hot. They got the grilled or fried chicken buffalo wrap. Phenomenal. Either way you go, you can't beat it. Get over there today. They're open for breakfast at 2 of the 3 locations in Flowood, right there in front of Dick's Sporting Goods, right there in Dogwood, as well as right there on Main Street in downtown Madison, Mississippi. The downtown Brandon location is not open for breakfast, but if you'll join me out there every Wednesday night, starting at 5 p.m., I'll be broadcasting live. And then at 7 p.m., the Cordless Corner Unplugged Music Competition kicks off at Burgers Blues Barbecue. Come out and see some of the best local live acoustic music acts out there. And a lot of these guys are also full-time, like they have full bands and everything, but they're stripping it down to do the acoustic stuff. You will not be disappointed. I was blown away at the 10 acts we had this past Wednesday. We've narrowed it down to 7. 3 got eliminated. It's a 4-week competition with the 5th week being the finals. So get out there, come enjoy it. Every night, every Wednesday night, starting at 7 p.m. for the competition, start at 5 p.m. Come meet me, hang out with me. Maybe you can even jump on and do my show with me if you got something interesting to say. I've been broadcasting live. We did our first live stream out there this past Wednesday, 5:30. We ain't married to a particular, it ain't nailed down. Just depends on how much, whatever. I'm not going to bog y'all down with the minutia of it. Get out there, come hang out. It's going to be a good time. Great food, cold drinks, live entertainment. Hey, it's all free. Well, the live entertainment's free. The food and drinks ain't. All right, let's jump back in. We got LINDSEY Beckham, Miss Mom for Liberty herself.
Yeah.
Here on the show. She's our every Monday co-host. LINDSEY,
Yeah.
let's jump back into the Carly Gregg stuff.
Okay.
The sentencing. She got, and this has been kind of confusing, and the lawyers brought this up too. She got 2 life sentences that run concurrently, and there was some confusion on that. Concurrently, for those that don't know, and we're not being a smart butt here, that's side by side. So technically, that could be 40 years. It could be 50 years. It's kind of weird in Mississippi. There doesn't appear to be a definition of what life is.
I think, as far as right now, from what I understand, is right now life is life. Yeah. Like it's your life, but that could change. The courts can change what that means anytime.
They can, and so she got 2 life sentences concurrently plus 10 years.
Right.
All right. So the phrase "without the possibility of parole" kept coming up, and I'm telling y'all, and the only reason I know this is because of the James Williams stuff with the killing of Zingo Mangum's mom and his dad. Is that the James Williams killed both of them, premeditated, the whole 9 yards, cut their bodies up, took them out, just gruesome crime. And if you listen to the show long enough, you know we fought like hell because the Mississippi Parole Board decided they were going to let him out.
We had legislators, we had representatives, senators.
Yep. Put
this petition out. People signed it. And they did it anyway.
And what happened was the United States Supreme Court changed the law that says you cannot sentence a minor to life without the possibility of parole. You can send them to jail for life, but at some point they have to have the possibility of parole. That did not mean Mississippi Parole Board to let a double convicted murderer out. You did not have to. It was not a requirement to let them out of jail.
There was some really sketchy stuff that went on with that too, like not letting the family know when the parole hearings were coming up. And
well, you know, one of the other things, one of the big mega churches got involved and was like, this guy's been saved and he's going to do a bunch of good work out here in the community. Yeah, he did a bunch of good work.
Such as get drunk and wreck your vehicle and put everyone else's lives in danger on the road.
Yeah, that decided to do some day drinking. And I remember it was the same day as Pearl's homecoming last year. 5 o'clock in the afternoon, he's drunk driving to the point down Highway 80 that he ends up in a ditch while kids are getting ready to go to homecoming. Disgusting. But neither here nor there. My point being, I know that she'll have a possibility of parole because he did, and he was a minor when he killed them. So you're misinformed if you're saying that she doesn't have a possibility of parole.
Yeah, I think it's just very difficult to understand. There's just a lot of misinformation out there, and different people are saying different things, and so the public's a little confused as to what life means. As the sentencing. So
all that to say this: wow, they should have taken the plea deal. I don't know what they were thinking, but they 100% should have taken the plea deal.
Yeah.
Let's take a call. I'm not sure who we got on the line here, but on the Mazda of Jackson phone line. Hey, you're on there.
It's your worst caller, buddy.
Hey, buddy.
I want to say something first about the camera deal. We've had a couple of instances in my community. Now, I live in a good community in Rankin County, but I have cameras 360 around my house that record. They notify me to my phone. Inside, every entrance has a camera pointed towards you. You know, so if they kick in a door or something, I'm going to get good photographs. Also, I have a dog door, and I've got a dog that's half bloodhound and half pit bull and hates everybody. So come on in. Let me tell you something about convicts. Every one of them gets saved. I had a nephew for years was a jailer, and those people from the churches would come up there and do things for him and all that. Then they'd laugh at them after they left. Now, there are some that actually happens to. I know a girl in fact, she lived in my house upstairs 6 months rent-free after she got out, and it took. She's straight 5 years later. Another girl went to her mother's house. 5, 6 years later, she's doing it straight. But by and large, these convicts are playing these people who have good hearts. And, you know, I do a lot of charity work in the community. But there's people on the outside gaming, and there's people on the inside gaming. And they need to put people, I hate to say it, guys like me that have a little cynical nature needs to be going to these two to tell these people, you know, got to shut down, because I've served on a benevolence committee with 2 women who had church for $1 million, and they got mad at me because I'd sit in the parking lot and wait. If they drove up in a better car than I had, they were at it. If they had a better cell phone than I had, they were at it. And brother, if they were smoking cigarettes and could afford $8 a day, they didn't need our help either. But, you know, I'm an old cynic. But and lovely lady, you're just as beautiful on camera as you are with your melodious voice.
Thank you, buddy.
Thank you, brother. Buddy, I appreciate it as always, man.
Give them hell.
You always. All right, we got to take another break real quick here for our last break of the hour. We'll come back with a short segment, and then we'll have our top of the hour break news segment, and then we got a whole another hour to go here on the Clay Edwards Show. Stay with us on the internet. We're going to come back and live chat with you guys during the break. If you're listening on the radio, don't touch that knob. I'm watching you. I've got cameras everywhere. We'll be right back on the Clay Edwards Show with Lindsey Beckham. All right, so we got Mr. Buddy there. Buddy's always good entertainment. Always appreciate Buddy. I can't. Lindsey, I've for years just been trying to get to that point in life where I can say whatever I want and not have to worry about just getting.
I thought you'd been there.
I butchered that. I'm trying to get to that point where I'm just old enough that people just think I'm a crazy old man saying things and they're not as likely to punch me in the face. But I don't think I'm quite there yet. I think there's quite a few people that want to punch me in the face, and that's fine. I have a punchable face. I get it. So
I'm in the same boat.
Buddy has definitely reached that point where he says whatever he wants and doesn't care. And
people
love
it. People love what he has to say.
You know, like the one thing that I get from people, because I often joke about, when I meet people who are what I consider higher class. I don't know any other way to say it. I call it the country club conservative crowd. And God bless them. They make the world go round. Those are a lot of our business owners and all that. I just always find it weird that when I find out those cats listen to this show.
I know.
Because I'm like, y'all listen to what my old crazy butt's got to say? But they're like, man, you tell the truth. And so I've learned that telling the truth is way better than being polished and always prim and proper. You know, people will give you a lot of grace if they know you're not lying to them.
Yeah.
And that has been a good lesson for me over the last couple of years. It's like, hey, man, just keep telling the truth. Now, that doesn't mean I'm not wrong, by the way. I get stuff wrong, but I'm not lying.
And people don't always have to agree. I mean, you don't have to. And like you said this before, if you agree with someone 100% of the time, I mean, that's no fun.
You're lying, for one thing.
Yeah, well, yeah.
You're lying. We were at the football game. We were looking for somewhere. We were getting to our parking place there in downtown Starkville, right there in the Cotton District. And everybody was kind of walking to the game, and there was this girl. She had on really short blue jean shorts and a little white tube top, and she looked like 10 pounds of poop in a 5-pound bag, just a busted can of biscuits. Mm. And I was like, that's because she doesn't have a friend, to be honest with her.
Yeah.
She should have had a friend that said, girl, don't do that.
Don't wear that.
You need to keep people around you that'll tell the truth. The truth is going to go a lot further. It's like me talking about Hardy putting on some weight.
Yeah.
It's like when my dad told me, I put a reel up last night about this. When my dad told me, Clay, you're bigger than you've ever been. It's time to lose some weight. I'm worried about you.
Yeah.
He said, you look like a fat ass.
I'll tell you, that's the great thing about a 7-year-old autistic son who's going to tell you the truth no matter what.
Hey, look, I'm going to tell you what. I've said this on the show. Everybody should have an autistic friend or somebody on the spectrum. They can't lie. Mm-mm. Like they cannot lie. You want the brutal truth? Ask your on the spectrum friend.
Yeah, not afraid to tell the truth whatsoever.
Let's see here. Nathan says, you're one of the most prim and proper people I know. You're a damn lie. A damn lie. Talk about, we're sitting here having a whole segment about telling the truth, and here you come with a lie, Nathan Barber. Robert Bird says, I think stepdad has something to do with it too. I don't think, Robert. I mean, he got shot. I mean, that's like people that think Suge Knight has something to do with Tupac getting killed. I mean, he was in the car. He really trusted the shooter a lot to do it. I get it, man. I get, it's easy to go there because so many times we've seen that happen. Mm-hmm. And then just some of the things the way he looked in the court, he looked really weird.
Go back and listen to the 911 call.
I did.
I mean, he was hysterical.
He was, like, people thought it was a female. Like, apparently, the dispatchers originally thought it was a woman calling. He was so hysterical.
Yeah. I think he was shocked. I think he was completely shocked as to what he walked into.
Yep. Brent Stevens, good morning. See you there. All right, we're just a few seconds away from going back live on the radio. We'll have a short 2 or 3 minute segment, then we'll have our top of the hour break. Man, thank you all so much for tuning in this morning. We got 151 live viewers. That's just on a couple of the platforms, but it's the one liquor I can't drink again. 151. Ugh.
Yeah, that's the stuff that lights on fire.
Welcome back in to the Clay Edwards Show. This last segment of the hour is going to be brought to you by our friends at Lakeland Glass and Tint. Get over there today for all your window tinting, windshield replacement, automotive paint protection film, vehicle wrap, and ceramic coating needs. The ultimate protection for your vehicle. It's all available at Lakeland Glass and Tint, from keeping the heat out of the inside, which is going to protect your dash, your leather, your seats, your fabric, and all that with the window tint, to protecting your paint with the paint protection film, the ceramic coating, or turn your vehicle into a rolling billboard with their vehicle wrap design and application services.
When are you going to do that? When are you going to get Clay Edwards Show FIFO on your car?
I is not. I had saved JXN on my tag for a little while. I was like, this was a bad idea.
Everybody knows.
This was a bad idea. Now it's just a relic that hangs up on my shelf on my YouTube, behind my YouTube videos. And so I'm definitely not going to do that.
You have to drive through Jackson too much for that.
I
tell
do.
him what might happen.
Now there is a new FIFO design coming out that is Mississippi license plate inspired. Y'all are going to love it.
What? You hadn't showed me this yet.
I haven't got the final artwork yet. So Michael Applewhite, I know you're listening. Hustle, hustle. I'm picking at Michael. All right, guys on the radio. We'll be back here in just a few minutes. We're joined here live in the studio this morning by LINDSEY BECKHAM. Some of the other topics I want to hit today is the big Corey DeAngelis scandal, the school choice evangelist. That's his title. From gay porn to school choice evangelist, his past has come to light. We'll be back to tell you more about it here in just a minute. All right, live streamers, we're going to take a little break here. We'll be back in 7 minutes. This is the Clay Edwards Show with LINDSEY BECKHAM. Again, we'll be right back at 8:07. Y'all don't go nowhere. Keep it on. You'll know when we come back. Appreciate you guys for chiming in, watching in. We got to get a few things together, and there's no point in you just staring at us looking goofy while we do it. I'm going to throw this little ad up here on the screen. Y'all be sure to take advantage of Men's Health in Mississippi and their free testosterone screenings available for our men. Just text my name, Clay, 601-327-8550. We will be right back in 7. You'll have to hear the stream. You'll have to hear the commercial if you do that. Hey, guys, change of plans. We forgot to tell you about LINDSEY's Facebook drama with Bridget Todd, the attorney. So that's what we're going to do here during the break. LINDSEY, set it up. Tell people what happened.
Yeah, so Kingfish had the cartoon that I thought was hilarious, and so I had shared that cartoon to my Facebook, and then I had not tagged her, or I'm not Facebook friends with her. I had not tagged her, but she obviously was searching her name on Facebook and found this post, and she commented. It's between 12 and 1 a.m. She had kind of gone back and forth with me a little bit, and she said something along the lines of, I can't even remember how it actually started. She said, "Oh, I'm not embarrassed at all. At least I'm not being investigated by the Department of Justice." Now, the reason why she said that was because Moms for Liberty has been investigated by the Department of Justice. And back when parents first started to show up at school board meetings, the Department of Justice called us domestic terrorists, even went so far as to say that. So that's where that came from. And I responded back with, something like I normally say, talking about parental rights and why I fight for parental rights and why it's so important to me. And I made the remark that I saw how she had attacked parental rights in the trial that day. And I even clipped it out and put it in the comments because she had talked about when there was a witness on the stand, she was saying, well, Carly didn't have confidentiality with you. She couldn't tell you she was hearing voices because you allowed her mom, Ashley, to be in the room. Well, she's 14. No mom who's concerned about their child's mental health is going to take them to a stranger and walk out of the room the very first time. Especially that first appointment, you're going to be in there. You're going to let this counselor know or psychiatrist know what's going on and explain what's been happening. Yeah. And so we'll have
to go back and repeat it on the radio.
Yeah.
So it's like when we have to stop mid-sentence to go to a commercial break, and we can continue that sentence on the live chat, so that we have to start it back over on the commercial, on the other side of the commercial break. That's why I would prefer just pause the topic and chat with you guys and answer any questions you may have during the commercial breaks. I think that makes it easier to have a more consistent show. So
yeah, I completely agree.
I hope that works for everybody. Lindsay, any big plans this week? Anything going on? Tell people about your podcast.
Yeah, so it's called Raising Liberty. We usually record on Friday afternoons, and I actually have one of your friends, Nick Bain, coming in actually, we're going to be recording Friday morning. He's going to be in town, and we've been trying to get him on, going back and forth. We finally got a date that I think is going to work. Had a mom on this past Friday who lost her son to fentanyl. Young teenage boy, one time took a pill and was dead. And so she was talking about the border crisis.
So where can they find you at?
Raising Liberty with Lindsey Beckham on Facebook and YouTube and
Apple and Spotify and everywhere. Yeah, the video platforms as well as the audio only. She's everywhere. Go hit subscribe.
Absolutely. Thank you.
All right. The intro is playing now. We're getting ready to come back live from commercial break. Man, we got a banger of a second hour for you guys.
Pun intended.
Pun intended. Where's your mind at this morning, Miss Beckham? We got some breaking news from WLBT. What does this say? Suspect in apparent attempt on Trump's life.
Not again.
Offered reward to whoever can complete the job.
Wow. It wouldn't surprise me.
Boom goes the dynamite. It's hour 2 of the Clay Edwards Show here with Lindsey Beckham on 103.9 FM WYAB. Of course, we are streaming live on video worldwide at Facebook, YouTube, X, and Rumble. Just search Save JXN or the Clay Edwards Show. But all the websites are Save JXN. Anyway, with all that said, this segment is going to be brought to you by our friends over at Pure Air Consultants. Ever wonder why your AC has stopped working? Yes, every time, as a matter of fact. Why isn't this thing working? The common reasons for this issue include issues like a flip switch, a dirty condenser, an improperly sized unit, an old unit, and a malfunctioning thermostat. It's not always your compressor. It's always my compressor. Anyway, for over 40 years, Pure Air Consultants has been delivering exceptional cooling systems to Central Mississippi, and they want to offer you a rare gift. How about a free labor warranty for 5 years? New construction build, thermostat installation, and more. Financing is available. Pure Air Consultants also specializes in air duct cleaning, air duct sealing, and dry vent cleaning. Make sure the air you breathe is as clean and fresh as possible. Contact them today at mypureairconsultants.com. That's mypureairconsultants.com. Ream, a new degree of comfort. Lindsey Beckham.
Yeah.
Here is a topic that is near and dear to your heart and something we've been talking about on this show a little more lately than I anticipated, and that is school choice.
Yes.
Now, I don't know. So I really had to research last night, why is school choice a conservative topic and why are Democrats against school choice? Because I can only see it through the Jackson lens. We've talked about this. But that aside, it's become, here locally, it's the grassroots folks, the conservative folks, in some realms are very pro-school choice and others are against it. But one of the voices of the school choice stuff nationally, man out of Texas, I believe, Corey DeAngelis. He's a self-described school choice evangelist. He has a dark history, apparently, as an adult gay porn star. And that surfaced over the weekend online.
Yeah.
And you guys have been affiliated with this guy. Your Moms for Liberty stuff.
Yeah,
and
he's a friend of mine, and I am just heartbroken.
Let me say this first and foremost. I worked with a guy for 5 years, side by side, on the desk at a car dealership, who was a former gay porn star. And he was married with kids, the whole 9 yards. Hung around multiple women after his divorce. I mean, he's with a woman now. I'm not saying that he ain't gay. I'm just saying he likes women too. But he never, ever did any gay stuff otherwise, as far as I know, than his stint in gay porn.
And don't go try to look it up because we're in Mississippi. I know you can't do that here.
Yeah, Lindsay's made sure you can't look it up anymore. But I say all that to say this is I don't really care about somebody's past. It's like who are you today?
Yeah, and I think they say 2013-ish is when these videos evidently were recorded or made. It's tough. But here's the thing. This is going to put a hurt on the movement, on the school choice movement. And so I think if you have something that big that you've been a part of, like you just said, a lot of people don't care about your past. Why would you not just put that out there initially and say, hey, this is what I want to, this is who I was, but this is who I am, and this is what I've kind of devoted my career to. He has spoken at a lot of Moms for Liberty events, and he's been here in Mississippi. He was at a Mississippi Center for Public Policy event. Like you said, there was a nice little pic that our buddy Jay Allen over on Twitter put up of him with Douglas Carswell, and made the remark that the one on the left is the porn star, the gay porn star. So it's just it's not. It looks bad on all of us that have been associated with him and have been friends with him, and. It's not even that I judge him for his past. I think if we have something like that in our past, that needs to be something that we put out there, and that can't just be found, because it's always going to be found. It's always going to be found.
Yeah, he should have just done this right here.
Whatever it is you need God to do, he just told you it's done right now. What did you come here for? What did you come down here for? Tell me.
To get delivered more.
To get delivered. Do you believe that the Lord tonight has set you free?
Yes, sir.
Turn around and tell those people. Tell them.
I'm not gay no more.
I am delivered. I don't like men no more. I said I like women. Women. I said women. I'm not gay. I would not date a man. I would not carry a purse. I would not put on makeup. I will love a woman.
A woman.
Wow.
Listen, y'all praise God.
That's what he should have done. He should have taken that route.
Was that Mark Robinson there delivering him?
He should have taken that route, and this whole thing would have just been blown right on over.
Yeah.
But it's because he hit it.
Yeah.
And of course now the left is coming out and they're taking the opportunity to say, oh, and he was anti-LGBTQ. No, he was, the best I could find was he spoke out against drag queen story time and some of this other nonsense in school. Lindsay, let me ask this. Yeah. If I spoke out against stripper story hour, would that make me anti-straight?
I don't know.
Do you smell what I'm cooking here?
Yeah.
Why is thinking that pornographic type material being available to school kids or hypersexual gay drag queen stuff being considered a bad idea for school kids? Why is that anti-LGBTQ? Can't that just be anti
porn for kids?
Pro decency? Right,
exactly. I had someone comment on my podcast Facebook page yesterday and say, talk about how we are so anti-LGBTQ plus elementary, whatever. And I made the comment that I really wish that she would have a conversation with me, and I would like to hear why she thinks that. And she said, well, over 50% of the books that you guys have challenged in schools have those types of characters. I said, well, I can tell you why that is. It's because the books written by the people of that community and with those types of characters are the most sexually explicit books that we are finding in school libraries. It's not because it's those characters in the book. It's because that's where the sexual content is. And, this rhetoric that we are a hate group and hate gay people, it's just not true. It's not the case.
But they understand that the gay side of the aisle, whatever the gay movement, whatever, it's turned into a bigger and bigger voting bloc.
Yeah.
And they don't need gays leaving the plantation and possibly discovering that conservatism isn't just about the evangelical conservative stuff. There's some barstool conservatives over here too that don't care what you do. We just want the government out of our business.
Yeah, that's right.
And we want just a little bit of decency in the world. We're not asking for a whole lot. And I think, more and more people are realizing that with your groups like Gays for Groomers, Gays Against Groomers, and more. So I don't know. Look,
Libs of TikTok.
Jerry just had a great point on the Guns and Gear text line. I mean, absolute home run of a text here. What did he say? He said, this is so aggravating when these things disappear. It says, heck, how many public school advocates are the same and celebrated for their sexual diversity?
Exactly. And it's so funny that you say that, because the post that Jay Allen made on Twitter, he made a post that I'm in a picture in that post. It was an event that Corey spoke at, and he was talking about how this event featured a man who had been in gay porn, and Sean actually commented on it and said, "So what's wrong with that? I mean, are you against gay people now?" So the narrative, it's just a different narrative for each side. I mean, for our side, you can't have that. Their side, it's celebrated.
It is, and what is unique about it is it forces their side to eat themselves a little bit. So you're going to make our argument for us,
right?
So I mean, to me, they're the ones that seem like the hypocrites in this thing.
They do, absolutely, they do. Because if you're so for these people and their rights, what's wrong with him having a past that includes gay porn?
Yeah, and explain to me why that matters.
Yeah.
I don't like it. I mean, it's not. It ain't a good look. I mean, the right does need to do a better job of vetting the people that it hitches its wagons to. We really do. We got to quit saying just because we agree on this one thing that we're going to hitch our wagons to this. I think we really need to. Of course, I mean, how do you vet the guy?
You know what's so funny, Clay, though?
I mean, you're supposed to vet every person you interact with. I mean, it's easy. I'm just playing devil's advocate on my own comment here. Okay, well, we vet the people. I Googled it. Nothing came up about being a gay porn star. Who was watching this?
But what's interesting is that in just a matter of days, we have Mark Robinson, who's running for governor in North Carolina, who's super conservative. Mm-hmm. Corey DeAngelis, who obviously very, very conservative voice in politics. He also worked with Betsy DeVos and her company, her group. And then also Christopher Rufo. And all of these people, all these conservative names are being attacked, and it's all sexually related to some sort of sexual misconduct or porn or Ashley Madison. And I'm sitting here thinking, who has had this information that they've been holding on to for years, just waiting to use it?
Well, it's October. Surprises.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know who these affect. I mean, okay, maybe it affects Robinson. I don't know. I thought he came out with a great response to it. So, it was AI.
Well, that's what I kept hoping this was with Corey. I really did, and I still have a little bit of hope. Maybe we'll hear that.
I don't think he's a big enough name for somebody to attack him with AI stuff. I don't know. I mean, that's just my gut feeling there. I think this is.
I don't know. Randy Weingarten. He and Randy Weingarten go at it.
Yeah.
Constantly.
So, well, I'm glad you brought up Robinson, because I think this is a great point, and I actually had it in my notes here. Use this to pivot to the Robinson stuff. I don't care what he said 10 years ago on social media, 15 years ago on social media. I've said a lot of stupid stuff on social media that I have actually searched to see if it's on any of the things, some of the dumb stuff I've said on MySpace, because how do I make this go away?
Yeah, I know. Can't get back in there anymore.
Yeah, it's how do I make this go away? Fortunately, the whole site kind of went away, but the internet history stuff. Anyway, my point being, I mean, if it came out, it comes out. It is what I don't care. It's nothing that bad, but it's just cringy stuff that I could do without.
No gay porn.
No gay porn. No gay porn. Cringy stuff I could do without being on the, out there, because, you grow and you just the past is the past. But this is a great example of why, I don't think by any means that Robinson's a grifter. I think he's the real deal.
Oh, I do too. I'm a huge Mark Robinson fan.
And he made the comment that he would rather, what was it? I got to pull it up here. Something about he considered himself a black Hitler. He'd rather have Hitler than Obama as president. A couple things like that. But I mean, this is a black guy. Y'all are not allowed to tell black people what they think. You can't be a racist.
Here's an interesting topic. Who's doing this? Who's putting these hit pieces out on these conservative guys? Is it the left or is it the establishment right?
Well, that's a good question. I definitely think it's some establishment right, but let's be honest. I mean, we are kind of who is the establishment right?
I thought I used to know, and now I'm not so sure.
I mean, because we've taken over the party. I mean, you have Trump's literally running the Republican National Committee. I mean, so maybe it's somebody on. Maybe it's. I think this is probably a more in-state hit job on Robinson.
It could be, but one thing Sean was brought up was that he was down in the polls. I mean, by a significant amount. And so why even do this? Like, why attack him?
Polls don't matter.
Oh, that's true.
Polls don't matter. I mean, they always skew to the Democrat because they like to discourage Republicans from getting out.
You're right. You're right.
You know, it's why they rigged them to get Biden out of there. So, oh, look, Trump's surging in the polls. And then, oh, look, we got rid of Biden. Now look, the person nobody's ever casted a single vote for is now beating the most popular president in history. Get out of here with that nonsense. I'm not saying all polls are BS. I mean, I think you can get a little bit of data from them. But
one thing I always say is that if they try to poll someone like me and I get a text or something, I'm usually, I've got 5 kids, I'm going here and there, and I'm not going to sit down and take the time to even answer a poll. So you're missing a huge part of the population, people who don't have time to sit down and do that, to answer questions. Nope,
I agree. All right, let's take a break. This is the Clay Edwards Show with Lindsey Beckham here on WYAB. I am waiting on the computer to unfreeze so we can take our breaks. I will sit here and run my mouth for another minute. I think we may be able to try it now. We'll be right back. All right, live streamers, we're back in here. The computer croaked on me for a second, but looks like we got to. I pull. That's what happens when you pull up a liberal website to reference information. I went to the Daily Beast, and this old computer here in the studio wasn't built for it. They knew that we was coming from WYAB and the Clay Edwards Show, so they were trying to sabotage us. Is what had happened.
I believe it.
Johnny Ola on Facebook says, "Rest in peace, Joe Rogan." I don't think Joe Rogan died. There was an internet hoax going around over the weekend. Started by the guy that it was about. I don't know. Does any of y'all follow Doug Townsend? He's a car salesman from down like in like the Macomb area, North Louisiana.
On Twitter?
X, more of an Instagram and TikTok guy. Doug Townsend. He just makes these stupid videos and come holla. Anyway, he's a funny dude. He's down in Louisiana, sells Dodges for a living, but he finds these clips of people doing really, really overtly sexual, dumb stuff, and then he'll merge it into like a car sale video, and you're like, come holla. Anyway, he faked his own death over the weekend online. Wow. And the internet melted. I was trying to figure out, was he really dead? But his account was still posting stuff. At the end of the day, I don't think he died. I was like, maybe I should fake my own death. But I was like, no.
No, don't do that.
No. It'll be illegal if I do it.
Yeah, you'll go to jail. I mean, who would be here to tell everyone who has food?
Well, true enough. All right, let's see here, man.
Tell everybody how we can't afford 4 more years of this.
Yeah. Let's see here. Pull up X. Guys, feel free to ask us anything. We're in commercial break. If you're just chiming in, I'm logging into my X account now so I can pull up a little bit of show prep. I think I saved that Tim Walz clip. I know I can go to Gateway.
I was just about to ask you if you had the clip. I mean, I've got
I can go to Gateway Pundit if I need to, but I'm scared it will crash the site.
Let me see if I can.
Let's see if you can find it on X and tag me.
Okay.
All right, we're back. Welcome back in to the Clay Edwards Show here on WYAB. This segment brought to you by our friends over at Acme Pizza and Daiquiris. Get out there this weekend. Or not this weekend. This week, Monday night is Monday Night Football, Monday Night Wrestling. You don't feel like cooking after a hard Monday back at the job? Holler at Chip and the team. Speaking of Chip Matthews, he'll be coming up next here on WYAB from 9 to 10 every Monday and Tuesday. Chip is the proprietor of Acme Pizza and Daiquiris. I saw my buddy Jonathan Huddleston, the proprietor of Grills of Mississippi, went out there this weekend to support it. Posted a picture of his good-looking pizza.
Yeah, and Jonathan knows food, too.
Jonathan knows food, and Jonathan gave a rave review about how good the pizza was over at Acme. And food like Jonathan knows food, you listen. Like that review matters.
Yeah.
And Jonathan went out there and enjoyed it. I always recommend the Pig. I think Jonathan got the surf and turf. My favorite is just Canadian bacon, extra cheese, let it rip. But if I'm ordering one of the specialties, the Pig is really good. They're located at Fannin Mart on the Res, right in front of the bowling alley. They're closed on Tuesdays.
Tuesdays, yeah.
So open every other day, but Tuesday, 4 p.m. to midnight. They got daiquiris to go. They got 9 different frozen daiquiris on tap, 12 different specialty pizzas, full bar, the whole 9 yards. Get out there, enjoy it. I think they're doing some football on Saturday nights and Sundays when they're open. So get over there, enjoy it. Acme
He's got
Pizza.
music out there now too.
They do. They got music on Friday and Saturday nights and good stuff. Check them out online. Acme Pizza and Daiquiris on Facebook there. All right, let's jump back in. Oh yeah, excuse me. They are available for delivery, carry out, and of course dine in. Just search your relevant but your food delivery apps of choice. They should be on all of them. All right, man. We've got a clip of Tim Walz. He went full MAGA this weekend. Lindsay, I did not know that Walz was going to be supporting Trump, but you know what? I mean, he's weird.
I mean, maybe so much time around Kamala has shown him the light.
Yeah, I mean, he's weird, but I mean, we're going to need weird people on our army too if we're going to get it too big to rig.
Yeah.
So let's listen to Tim Walz here supporting Trump.
We can't afford 4 more years of this. We can't afford 4 more years of this.
Preach, Tim, preach.
Preach, my brother. My brother. He's right, man. We cannot afford 4 more years of this. And I mean, if you're Trump's team and that is not the soundbite for the rest of this campaign.
Yeah, exactly.
And Kamala is Biden. This is Bidenomics. Is not the soundbite for the rest of this campaign. What are you doing?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they. Well, I haven't looked. Does Trump's team already have an ad out with that clip in it? I'm sure that they don't. They will.
I don't know.
Sometime soon.
I've been talking about this a little bit, man. I've been dealing with just a little bit of burnout from some of this stuff, so I have not just been as knee deep into Twitter or X or whatever.
It's become exhausting trying to keep up.
It is so much. We live in the information age. I know people say that, but it is from so many different places now. It's like I don't even know where to go get information from
or what to believe.
Even the sites I believe and trust are getting into the clickbaity, believing manipulated clips, and you got AI manipulated clips and all this stuff. I mean, look, some stuff is clearly satire. I know the difference in satire. Yeah. Some stuff we are legitimately dealing with deep fakes out there.
Oh, I know. I mean, we actually had legislation that passed this past session talking about deep fakes and how it would be illegal to use that type of content campaigning because it's gotten to that point where it's just so real that you can't tell the difference.
It is.
It's scary. I mean, this is going to hurt some people's reputations if it continues down this path.
Yeah, I don't know, man, but it's discouraged me a bit from how I gather my show prep.
Yeah.
I hate to feel like I'm trusting Fox News as the go-to, but I at least feel like they're vetting stuff a little better than some of these other places are.
Yeah, because a lot of the political talk and content is on X. But there's so many people on there that don't back up their content. You don't know whether you can believe it or not. There's nothing to verify it.
No, and I mean, and of course, the left wing media think they're the arbiters of truth.
Yeah,
and they've been selling lies and never apologizing for it or anything for the last 7 or 8 years, or really much longer than that. But especially the last. I mean,
they still believe you can be whatever sex you want to be. So it's kind of hard to believe anything they say.
It truly is, and of course, they're still pushing the Russian stuff, knowing it's been debunked and it's been labeled misinformation, and they still keep pushing the Very Fine People hoax, knowing it's been debunked and labeled misinformation. But they're again, every time they say threat to democracy, some little poor kid in Africa dies, and they just keep killing little poor kids in Africa every time they say threat to democracy.
And they say it a lot.
They do. Africa is thinning on out. A young little kid in Jackson, Mississippi dies every time they say threat to democracy.
I mean, I don't think we need to hear that for the young kids in Jackson to be done. I mean, they do that themselves.
Well, yes, it was satire.
I know. I get
satire.
it. I get it.
All right. Sean texts in on the Guns and Gear text line, we'll call it, and says, talking about the Robinson stuff, Mark Robinson stuff. He says it's the establishment right. Robinson was down 14 points. He was never going to win anyway. Dems have no reason to attack him. Well, why would the establishment right attack him? I mean, if he's down 14 points, I mean.
That was I think initially they said the day that all of this came out, they said that they wanted him to remove himself. And I think it was just in the nick of time to be able to be replaced. And so I think Sean's point is that the establishment right wanted him to drop out of this race and then them have time to put in another candidate that maybe would poll better or have a better chance of winning. I don't know. I know my friends in North Carolina are huge supporters, and they've been out all weekend knocking doors for him. So
again,
we'll see.
Where are they doing their polling? In Charlotte, whatever the biggest city is that where they're doing their polling? And I'm going to guess that Charlotte's probably majority blue.
I would think so.
I mean, most big cities are.
But,
I mean, I don't know that to be fact. I mean, I don't really know much about the landscape of North Carolina. Where's Duke at? Durham? You know, they're doing it there. I mean, these polls, I don't trust them. I'm sorry, I don't.
Yeah, it's hard to know what to believe, and especially with the presidential polls are so up and down. You know, one day Trump's leading, the next day she's leading. It's like, I mean, how do you know? How can you really know?
Yeah, I just look. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's nice to have a finger on the pulse of what's going on and try to understand just for rhetoric, but I just don't trust them. I'm sorry. I don't. Just don't. I don't care. I don't trust them. It's all hearsay and nonsense. Trump proved that in 2016. Everybody's like, oh, with the exception of 2016. No. 2016 matters.
Yeah.
2016 matters. I think they lied in 2020 as well with the polls because they wanted people to think that everybody hated Trump, and if we tell people how popular Biden is, people will want to group think.
Yeah.
If we tell everybody that this guy's wildly unpopular, then people will just automatically skew the other direction.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't even only Walls that has come out in support of Trump. I mean, I know I'm sure you saw Biden take the hat and put it on.
I did.
So he's moved over to the right as well.
Let's take a call here on the Mazda Jackson phone line this morning. Hey, good morning. You're on there.
Hey, good morning, Clay. Real quick, buddy. Did you see what's going around TikTok where one of the executives for sorry, I'm having a brain cramp this morning, for immigration retired and is just exposing everything?
No,
I didn't have time to vet it last night, but he was he was sitting in in the courtroom, giving his, whatever you call it.
I will have to. I'll have to go back and find it. I did get somebody sent me one last night. I need to pull it up and find it. But Tommy Tuberville and some others getting up talking about the immigration stuff. It was pretty strong. I'll see if I can find that during the break and send it over to myself.
I think his name was High Key. I'll see if I can jump on and tag it in the video real quick. But he was directly forced to not tell the public, lie to the public about the amount of immigrants coming over and how they were lowering how many immigrants we could hold. I mean, it's a big mess, and I'll see if I can find the video. Like I said, I didn't have time to vet it myself yesterday, but it seemed legit.
I think I saw something like that, but I can't remember where I saw it.
We got Lindsay over here checking it out. Hey, brother, I appreciate it, man. We'll see if we can find that.
Yes, sir. Y'all have a great week.
You too. Thanks. All right, let's take a break real quick. We're going to gather a little bit of information here. We'll be right back on the Clay Edwards Show with Lindsey Beckham on WYAB. All right, guys, we're going to take a break real quick online as well. I'm going to throw up the little screen. Y'all stay tuned. We will be right back. Welcome back into the Clay Edwards Show here live on WYAB. This segment brought to you by our friends out at Johnny's Pizza House, located right out there in, I cannot hear myself today for some reason. Located right out there in Gluckstadt, Mississippi. That is Johnny's Pizza House. You get any 8-inch one-topping pizza or drink for as low as $6.99. You can get a 8-inch Sweep the Kitchen for only $9.49, and that comes with a drink there at Johnny's Pizza House. Let's see something here. Check. Are your headphones working?
One ear, or I don't know. I can't.
Anyway.
I can't hear well. Something just happened. I felt like.
Yeah. Guys in the live stream there, will you give me a thumbs up if we have audio here? My headphones have gone out.
Yeah.
So let's play this clip, man. We got this clip here from Charlie Kirk, and I want to thank Jerry for sending this over. This is former Border Patrol Chief Aaron Heitke testifies before Congress that he was ordered by the Biden-Harris admin to cover up the number of terrorists arrested at the border. This is pretty intense here. Let me make sure I got everything up. All right.
In San Diego, we had an exponential increase in significant interest aliens. These are aliens with significant ties to terrorism. Prior to this administration, the San Diego sector averaged 10 to 15 SIA arrests per year. Once word was out the border was far easier to cross, San Diego went to over 100 SIAs in 2022, well over that in 2023, and even more than that registered this year. These are only the ones we caught. At the time, I was told I could not release any information on this increase in SIAs or mention any of the arrests. The administration was trying to convince the public there was no threat at the border. Fentanyl is another issue. The San Diego area sees between 80 and 90% of the methamphetamine and fentanyl seizures annually for our entire country. With little enforcement at the border, these drugs were coming through en masse. During my last year in San Diego, the price for a single pill of fentanyl, for example, went from $10 to 25 cents. To make matters worse, during 2022 and 23, I had to shut down San Diego traffic checkpoints, which are critical for drug interdiction, because the resources had been diverted to the process and release mission. The large numbers also had and still have a negative impact on the San Diego community. I had to release illegal aliens by the hundreds each day into communities who could not support them. To quiet the problem, 2 flights a week were provided from San Diego to Texas. These flights simply brought aliens that would have been released in San Diego over to Texas. Each flight cost approximately $150,000. This was the administration's way to try and quiet the border-wide crisis in San Diego.
All right, so that was interesting.
Yeah.
But no surprise, man. Look, and Lindsey made a great point during the break that we can have all the congressional hearings we want. We can do all that stuff. None of that's going to matter until we get a new regime in office. I mean,
it's not going to change until there's new administration running the country.
Exactly. And I mean, we unfortunately we have to accept that. And when Donald Trump gets in, I'm telling you, I don't care who you are, I don't understand how you can be pro any of this stuff. I just don't.
I mean, I can understand being pro legal immigration, but obviously what we are seeing happen is not legal. It's just this flood coming across the border, and it's killing Americans. It's fentanyl. It's our children are dying, and something needs to be done. But like you said, until we get somebody else in there, nothing's going to change.
Let's take a call from Jerry real quick. Jerry, you're on the air, brother.
Hey, Clay, I've got you on the speaker. Yeah, we need a new administration, but our problem is right over in Rankin County, in Tupelo, in South Mississippi, with our Republican elected officials, Michael Guest, and everyone else, because guess what they do every time? They vote to fund everything the government wants. We just passed a spending bill where if we had anybody with, I don't know, if they went to the men's clinic, maybe they would be able to stand up and pee instead of sitting down, because they could say, we're not spending another dime. We're going to shut the government down until we shut our border. But guess what? Michael Guest has Mississippi values and pro-life, and he's going to get patted on his head wherever he is, because people, oh, he's such a good boy. That's our problem. We think the president's going to be able to do it, but guess what? Our president had the House, the Senate, and the presidency with Trump, and who blocked them? Roger Wicker said the border wall was too expensive at $5 billion. Then we lost the Senate. Oh, God, you got to give us the Senate back. So, yeah, we need a president, but we need men. Even if they're a female, we need some testosterone leaders locally that we elect. And our problem is that he'll be standing on the corner in Brandon waving his reelect me with his wife and kids coming up again soon, and we will reelect him, unfortunately. But anyway, that's my stance. I'll get off my soapbox. See you.
Thank you, Jerry.
Well, let me say this. I agree that I get upset sometimes with the way our congressmen vote, but I will say in defense of Michael Guest, he is the chair of the Ethics Committee in Congress, and he was so passionate about impeaching Mayorkas because of the crisis at the border, and he wanted, obviously, I think that happened, and then it was overruled, but he really, really wanted to get rid of him because of the job that's been done at the border.
Speaking of D.C. and the border, I want to understand why Mike, what's the Speaker of the House's last name? Johnson.
Yeah.
Why Mike Johnson is agreeing to a bill, a spending bill, without any protections, without the SAFE Act being involved in it.
I thought he didn't agree to it unless the SAFE Act was included. Did that change?
I thought that changed.
It may have.
Came back and said that they were going to agree to something.
They didn't want a government shutdown. That's always what it is. We don't want the government shutdown to happen. Well, at some point, if the government has to shut down to get things right, then that's just what has to happen.
It is. I mean, it's going to end up being they're going to do some kind of continued resolution till around Christmas. And then
they're going to be so ready
to
get out of there.
The election too, and then everybody's going to be ready to get out of there.
They just go along with whatever.
Yep, and then it ain't going to matter. It's just blase, business as usual.
Yeah, that's what we need. We need Republicans to stand their ground and stop catering to the left.
Yeah, I'm yet to understand what is going on with Mike Johnson. This guy is anybody who seems to get in that position just gets bought and paid for immediately, and they become the establishment. If you ever wonder who the establishment is, it's those clowns.
That's exactly right. And, a lot of them I sometimes think have good intentions going in, but they get a little taste of power, and it just takes over.
I'll tell you what happens, Lindsay, is they go to a Diddy party.
Yeah. Or a Chokeway party.
I'm not joking. That's what they do. They go to a Diddy party, or whoever. Mm-hmm. Maybe not Diddy, but somebody of that. They go to these parties, they get compromised.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if anybody that thinks that's just hearsay and rumor and lies and conspiracy theories, you're an idiot.
Yeah.
An absolute brain-dead idiot if you think these politicians. I mean, what's the guy who was banging the Chinese spy Fang Fang? The one from California? And he was on the Armed Forces Committee? Eric Swalwell, a Democrat, has the audacity to be having a sexual affair with a spy and is still a sitting representative of the United States.
That's ridiculous.
You can't make this stuff up, man. So they're compromised. They go to these parties, and then next thing you know, you go from being, we were calling Mike Johnson MAGA Mike.
Yeah.
And then the next thing you know, he's doing a lot of un-MAGA-like stuff.
I mean, I'll be the first to say it's not always so cut and dry. It's not black and white. And I've learned that, obviously, at the Capitol and working on legislation, that you think everyone should vote for it because it's good legislation, but there's just so many deals that go down, and if you vote this way, then they're going to be angry at you and not support your bill. So you kind of have to
at some point have to stop that, because we're never getting our deals done. I'm not talking about on a statewide level.
Yeah.
But in Washington, the only people who ever win any of these culture battles, if that's what you want to call it, I don't think immigration's a culture war. I think immigration's a real damn war.
Yeah.
Why are we constantly losing and kowtowing to the left? You cut the spigot off, and they'll eventually break.
Yeah. We
got to cut the damn spigot off. If that means a government shut down for 6 months, a year, here's what I'm going to tell y'all folks in the government. You should have found another job if that affects you.
Yeah.
I don't know what else to tell you. Like they told coal miners, like Hillary told coal miners, learn to code. I don't know.
Well, I'm sure it would hurt them financially, but we're all hurting financially right now because of what's happening in the administration that's in office.
I hate it for people. They all want to say, or they all don't want anybody to be able to say, especially on the right side, that you're somehow. And I've heard Mike Guest say this before. Talking about these tying abortion bills and funding. Planned Parenthood funding into the thing. He's like, well, there's
the omnibus bills.
These
big omnibus bills that have so many in one.
Yeah, he's like, well, I'm not going to let them say that I voted against funding the military.
Right. Veterans.
I don't think anybody thinks that. Like every now and then you got to fall on a sword.
Yeah.
And we've got
to.
We're going
to
continue to lose control of this country if we don't start falling on a sword. We've lost it. Honestly, it's going to be completely gone if somebody doesn't decide to man up and fall on a damn sword every now and then.
Take it back.
Adam Gates fell on one and got rid of that nut job that was the Kevin McCarthy, and all we did was just replace him with Kevin McCarthy 2.0.
Matt Gates.
Yeah, Matt Gates. That's what I said.
You said Adam.
Did I say Adam Gates? Matt Gates. Sorry. Matt Gates. And then they sit here and act like he's some kind of nut job. Matt Gates ain't a nut job. He's a damn patriot who's up there without any corporate money. All the money he raises is from small-time $10, $20 donations from individuals, and he's not controlled by the corporate infrastructure. And they can't beat him. I was in Florida recently, and every other sign was a Matt Gates sign down through there, through the Panhandle.
Yeah.
I was like, that's how he keeps winning.
Yeah. He has a lot of fans in Florida for sure.
All right, let's take a break, come back, land the plane for the day. This is the Clay Edwards Show with Lindsey Beckham. We will be right back. Folks on the internet, we're going to go ahead and log off. We're coming back for just one last little short segment. Appreciate you guys tuning in today, hitting share, all that good stuff. I appreciate you working through us through technical difficulties. It seems to be a recurring issue anytime I'm at the helm.
Go meet Jennifer Branning tonight at Martin's.
Yeah, Jennifer Branning tonight, Martin's downtown, 5 p.m. She's up for Supreme Court Justice, running against the Democrat Kitchens. It's time to get him on out of there. This has been the Clay Edwards Show. I'll be back online live and later today, I'm sure. I'll be updating clips, reels, and more. When news breaks, I break with it. I'll see you guys tomorrow back here, 7 a.m. for the Clay Edwards Show on WYAB and online wherever you have been watching. Welcome back in to the Clay Edwards Show. We got about a minute left here with Lindsey Beckham. I did get some confirmation. Eric Swalwell was on the intelligence committee. Thank you, Jerry. And unknown texter sent in. This is from Donald Trump himself. It says, if Republicans don't get the SAVE Act and every ounce of it, they should not agree to continued resolution in any shape. And it says, breaking, Speaker Mike Johnson plans to move forward with spending bill that will fund government without the SAVE Act. And if y'all aren't familiar with what the SAVE Act is, that is a measure that will prevent illegal immigrants from voting in our federal elections. Guys, the fix is in. They're coming to steal the election in 2024. And the Republicans in Washington, D.C., the establishment Republicans are in on the steal, as if you didn't already know that. Why otherwise would they allow this nonsense to continue?
Yeah, I say shut government down. Shut it down.
Shut it down. Shut it down. Shut it down. I don't care. I hate it for our veterans. I'm sorry, but you know what, guys? You've sacrificed a lot for this country. I guess a little bit more. Yeah. Because otherwise, we ain't gonna have one.
Exactly.
We're not gonna have one. There ain't gonna be a government.
Like Tim Walz said, we can't take another 4 years of this.
Yeah, Tim Walz said it. There ain't gonna be a government shutdown if this continues. The whole country's gonna collapse, and that'd be the least of our concerns. I hope you got your MREs ready. Hope you got your ammo. Hope you got your guns. Hope you pray to whoever you pray to. I hope it's the same God I do. I'll see you back tomorrow, Lindsey. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
Peace out.